All right, hey guys, I get a lot of questions about nutrition and how to use the Isagenix products, what I use for marathon training, and how to incorporate that into your training schedule. So I just finished a 24-mile run, and I had all these products out, and so I just figured I would go through them really quick and kind of explain why I use them, what the evidence is behind them, how they work, and yeah, go from there. You'll see that they're not all Isagenix products. I mean, I use most of the Isagenix products that are offered for endurance stuff, and I'll explain the reason I use the stuff that I do that are not Isagenix products. Okay, so two pre-workout products. Nitro. Everybody, I think, has heard of Nitro in the My Daily Health community, but the reason Nitro is so great is because it has three things that help increase performance. It has caffeine. We know there's a bunch of evidence out there about caffeine and increasing performance at the gym and in endurance events. So caffeine's important. So it has caffeine, it has creatine. So most people have heard about creatine. Most people don't use it. I was really glad when Isagenix brought out Nitro because it has an increased dose of creatine compared to the AMPED Power. And so creatine is one of those supplements that increase ATP stores. It increases the energy blocks that your cells use to create muscle contractions. So the thing you have to know about creatine is, I don't know if you guys remember back in the 90s, people were you had to load creatine. So you had to take like triple the dose for a week. And then after that, you would take the same dose every single day. So we've kind of moved away from the loading phase of creatine. Most people don't do that anymore because I don't think the studies really supported it. But it is important to take this, if you're going to benefit from creatine, you want to take it every single day. So it's important to take your Nitro or the Power every single day, whether you work out or not, at around the same time, and that'll help kind of maintain that creatine level in your bloodstream. So the other thing that it contains is something called nitrosogene and carnosine. Both of those are amino acids that help with vasodilation. So it increases blood flow to the muscles. There's a lot of evidence behind it. This right here, nitrosogene, this is actually a company that Isagenix contracts with to provide the nitrosogene. Nitrosogene, if I can't remember what exactly it is. It's, right here. It's an acetal stabilized arginine. So arginine is one of the amino acids that really helps with vasodilation. The problem is it doesn't absorb very well, and our body can't use it very well in a state where you drink it. So this company figured out a way to make it bioavailable, and they labeled it nitrosogene, which is kind of like their little trademarked name for it. So Isagenix actually contracts with them to use their product to put in there. Anyway, it works great and helps maximize blood flow. So creatine, increased blood flow, and caffeine. That's pretty much the basics of AMP Nitro. NOx. Another way to increase blood flow to your muscles. So NOx is essentially a beet juice concentrate that's made to taste good. I kind of like the flavor of NOx. Some people complain about it, but you know, whatever, suck it up and drink it because it has a ton of benefits. So it's essentially a blend of vegetables that are very rich in nitric oxide, which goes through your blood, which enters your bloodstream and helps with vasodilation. So another way to increase blood flow to your muscles. A side note on NOx: if you're coming up to a competitive event like a marathon or a race of some sort or a powerlifting event, take more than just one. So what I typically do is I'll take 3 or 4 the day before, and then I'll take a couple in the morning before the race. NOx is one of those things that has a pretty stable concentration throughout the day. So when you take it, you should take it about 45 minutes before you work out, but it will last until the next day. So it's another one of those things, kind of like creatine, where to maximally benefit from the nitric oxide, you'll want to take one every single day. Okay, so that's before I go on my run. Now, what I take with me on my run, I'll go with this in the back first. This is called Scratch. Scratch is an electrolyte beverage. It's a powdered mix that you mix into water, stir it up, and it has electrolytes and, I can't remember if this one's caffeinated. I don't think this one has caffeine. Yeah, no caffeine in this one. It's basically an electrolyte beverage. The reason I use it is because, I don't know if people who have done endurance events, if you drink like undiluted Gatorade for an entire event, you're going to have one hell of a gut ache. It's really tough on your digestive system to take in that much sugar. And so what Scratch Labs and another one's called Tailwind, what they've done is they've basically kind of diluted down the sugar, made it extremely plain, very easy to digest, and it's a lot easier on the stomach. So that's why I like Scratch Labs. Now, Amped Hydrate. Amped Hydrate's a great product. And if I use this for an endurance event, I'll typically dilute it a little bit, so it's not quite as concentrated. I think you're supposed to mix this in 16 ounces, so I might do half. I may do this in 32 ounces to make it half as strong, because the amount of the sweetness that it has it can really wreck your stomach after 2 or 3 hours of drinking it. So that's and I actually talked to Paul Arciero about it, the chief science officer, and he told me at least that they're working on a product that will be a little more endurance friendly for really long events. Now, I mean, if you're going to play tennis or something, or go out and sweat for an hour or so, no big deal. This is what I use. But when I'm doing really long stuff, I'll use something like Scratch Labs. Salt Stick. This is just another electrolyte solution. It has sodium, potassium, magnesium, caffeine, and it basically just comes in it's just a pill. So I'll throw these in my pocket, and I'll take 1 or 2 every 30 minutes after the first hour or so, and that just helps keep up with the electrolyte loss through sweat. Next thing, e-shots. So 2 things with this. Caffeine, obviously, during an event, we know that helps performance, especially you're halfway through your marathon, you're an hour and a half into it, and you need a little pick-me-up. These work wonders. So the last marathon I did, I had Lindsay hand me one at like mile 20, I think. She was on the sideline, and she handed me one, and I took it, and you really do feel the difference. The other thing, adaptogens. So e-shots not only have caffeine, but they also have adaptogens in them, kind of like the Ionics. Adaptogens, there's a lot of research about adaptogens and fitness and exercise, and adaptogens also help improve performance. So that's what sets the e-shot apart from any other 5-hour energy or whatever else there is out there. Energy chews. I really like Shot Blocks, and I told Dr. Arciero to make some, and he told me that they were working on it, so who knows if that's true. But the Shot Blocks, I like these because they're just they're chewable gummies, and they're really easy I cut them in half, and I take half of these, which is 3 cubes. I take half of one every 30 minutes or so after the first hour of the marathon, and these help a lot. They've got sodium, they've got all the electrolytes you need. A lot of them have caffeine in them, so I really like these. However, Amped Fuel is also something that I like to use. Gels like this on a marathon can be a little bit messy because you tear it off, inevitably there's some left, and then you put it in your pocket, and your pocket's all gummed up and sticky. So when I'm going on long runs, I'll typically use Shot Blocks just because they're a little bit cleaner. But here's what sets Amped Fuel apart from any other gel out there. Amped Fuel has, the way Isagenix designed their products was you get your electrolytes from this, and you get your sugar from this. Now this does have sugar in it also, but the way that they designed it was, this is essentially molasses and applesauce, which is very easy to digest. It's not, loaded with any of the artificial sugars or anything like that. And I think it tastes really good. But what sets it apart is they put branched chain amino acids in it. Now, branched chain amino acids is something that is in any whey protein source. But when you isolate branched chain amino acids, there's 3 amino acids that are considered branched chain: leucine, isoleucine, and valine. Those 3 are the most important by far for performance and recovery. So when you isolate them and you take them apart from just a whey protein, they're much easier to digest and much more bioavailable. So you get a bigger bang for your buck. What we know about branched chain amino acids during an event, like during a long competition or an endurance event or something, is it actually helps to improve performance and helps your muscles last longer. So not only does protein after an event help. Most people know that, you drink your protein shake after your workout, but protein during whatever you're doing is extremely important as well. So Amped Fuel, that's why I love this stuff. I kind of rolled my eyes at it at first because it doesn't have electrolytes in it. And most gels have your electrolytes, your sugar, and that's it. What they did with Amped Fuel is they put your sugar and your branched-chain amino acids. Nobody else has branched-chain amino acids in their gels. So that's what sets Amped Fuel apart, and that's why I love it. Okay, so we did all those. That was all during. So this is all the stuff I carry with me during a long run. Now, recovery. We all know you're supposed to take your recovery nutrition in within 30 to 45 minutes. The sooner the better. So what I like, so Amped Recover. Why is Amped Recover so good? Branched-chain amino acids. That's what I already talked about. The benefits of branched-chain amino acids are huge, and there's some other amino acids in here as well, but the big one are branched-chain amino acids, which help expedite recovery. So this is your source of BCAAs. Now, Isopro is a whey protein, right? It's not a meal replacement. It's just the whey protein. Whey protein is also very important. Now, like I said, it has branched-chain amino acids in it, but it has the more complete amino acid profile that Isagenix is so good at creating with cold processing the whey and undenatured whey protein. So this is a more complete recovery product. So when you take this in combination with this, that's all you need for recovery. That is everything. So 1 scoop, I did 2 scoops, so that would be 36 grams of protein after my workout. But that was a 24-mile run. So normally, after a 10-mile run or something, I'll just do 1 scoop and then the recover. And that's what I do for almost every one of my long runs. Now, if I'm doing like a 10-mile run, I might do something like, if I'm doing a 10-mile run, I don't usually need electrolyte replacements. But if you're not used to long runs, then you will. So I don't do any of that. I essentially, for a 10-mile run, this is what I use: nitro and Nox. So for something that's not as hard as or as grueling as a 24-mile run, I'll typically simplify it. I'll just drink plain water, nitro and Nox, and be good to go. But everybody's threshold is different, and so for me, that's at about 10 to 12 miles. An hour to an hour and a half. I'm fine on a fasting day. I'm fine doing that with very little nutrition. But and so this is what I stick with on those days. So that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope it helps.